Hi, my loves. This is Isabella Sanfilippo coming at you from WCHS Spa Township, and you're listening to the I Love You podcast. Today's episode is To Be Loved is to Be Known, and we're going to go into detail about exactly what that means. I've seen this phrase a lot on social media. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I feel like I just get so many Instagram reels that it's like, this husband is like making his wife like a whole new workroom because she said like, oh, like I wish I had a new desk or something, and then he like makes the whole room exactly to her liking, and it's like, to be loved is to be known. I don't know. That's
Instagram Reels is where I first like heard the term to be loved is to be known, and I thought that it was like a really beautiful way to put it, because like it's true, like when you love someone, you pay attention to what they do and what they say, and it's like your blueberry pancake analogy, if you want to.
Okay, there's a lot of different things that people want in relationships, and so I was kind of explaining, I want blueberry pancakes. I was thinking, like, what I want is, if I say I like blueberries, I want someone the next morning who like makes me blueberry pancakes, or like just listens to something I say and turns that into like a physical, tangible action that just shows how much they know me, how much they care, and how much they like appreciate me. And like, you know, they thought like, oh, Izzy likes blueberries, let's make her some blueberry pancakes. Like, it's just that switch and that like amount of effort that I think really shows. And also, if like, let's say I said I liked blueberry pancakes and then someone made me strawberry pancakes, like, that's not me. And it shows like, yes, they did something really nice and they went out of their way to do something really nice, and like I would so appreciate that. It shows that they don't know me, and I think that there's a big difference between like doing something nice for somebody and doing something nice for somebody while also knowing who that person is and knowing exactly how much that action is going to affect them in a positive way.
And it's like if someone bought you silver jewelry when you only know gold, when you only wear gold, it's like if they knew you, then they would know that you only wear gold. Not that like buying you jewelry is not a nice like act of kindness. It's just that it feels different when it's like when like somebody does things for you or gets you things that are tailored to your personality or things that you enjoy because they actually know you. And I think that like relationships and friendships and everything where the other person actually pays attention to the things that you do is really special and meaningful, because we don't get that a lot in high school. I feel like a lot of people here are fake, like in general at this age, or just in life in general. And it's like, you know, like they ask you how you are, but they don't actually care how you are. It's just like you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I think that it's important to hold on to the relationships that you have with people that are actually genuine, where they care about knowing you and they care about what you say.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think that when you find those people who you know are listening, because maybe you made a joke and then they bring it up like the next day or something like that, or 2 days later, like, oh wait, I get that reference, I get the recall. Like, just little things like that just truly show the people who value you and listen to you. Because like in general, like if you're just meeting someone, like of course you're gonna like pay attention to what they say, but it's not gonna be that immediate like, oh, how are you? Like, they're gonna say good and then you're gonna move on with your life. It's not gonna be like, oh, how are you? And you're gonna like dive into like a deep conversation where you are paying attention and like hanging on to every single word they say. And when you have relationships where you can be like, oh, hey, how are you? Oh my gosh, girl, you have to, let me tell you about my night. Like, things like that. And then like you're just listening to them. And I think those types of relationships are just so beautiful, because the only way you can know somebody is by listening. So I think it's almost kind of like a chain reaction. Like, first you have to listen to know someone to love someone, And I think that a lot of people can be like, oh yeah, I know them, and they're listening, but they're not really listening. It's like, okay, I'm wearing pants today. Oh, but what color pants? And like, you don't even know. Well, you guys can't know because you don't see me, but it's like, it's there and you see it, but you don't really see it.
And it's like, that's why I feel like some people think that they're in love when they're not, because it's like, oh, like they love the idea of somebody, but it's like they don't actually know them, because they're just like creating this image of that person in their head without actually listening and paying attention. And I think sometimes, like with friends, it's like, or I don't know if this has happened to anyone else, but it's like you're friends with someone and you consider yourself close with them, and then something happens and you realize that they don't actually know you, if that makes sense. Like, or like they were just using you in a way, because I feel like a lot of people, when they talk to you, they're trying to get something out of it, like get information or socially, like, I don't know. But I think it's really important to prioritize the people that genuinely want to talk to you, genuinely like you, and actually know you. And it's hard sometimes to figure out who those people are.
I also think that sometimes, like, when people ask you how you are, it might seem like they genuinely care, but it's like, okay, I'm gonna like write this down and report back to HQ. It's like this kind of almost like investigative kind of vibe sometimes, and people are really good at that. Like,
people are so good at faking it.
Yeah.
And it's like, sometimes it's like, oh, like they care about what happened because they care about how I feel, but it's like, no, they just want to keep tabs on you. Like, sometimes, like, it's like really crazy to think about, but I do feel like a lot of people do that, and there's a lot of people that are so good at being fake. And so it's like it's naive to think that everybody cares about you, but that doesn't mean that nobody cares about you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like it's important to remember that you're more loved than you know, and that, like, there's somebody that misses you when you're not there. There's someone that notices you when you're not there.
Yeah, and that is so powerful. And it's those people when you're sick that text you, like, hey, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? That, like, those are your people, and you know that. And it's something that's just beautiful to see. And the people who truly love you, you won't have to question if they love you and if they care about you, because they're going to show you. They're going to show you not only through words, but through their actions. And I am a huge believer in actions speak louder than words. And I just think that in order to show somebody you really care, there has to be some sort of effort. And I think that effort can look so different in so many ways. Maybe for someone it is words, like if someone doesn't give compliments a lot and then they compliment you, or like if your coach doesn't give out compliments a lot, that's like just kind of what my brain was going to. And then they're like, oh yeah, like great game. Like that makes you feel like so good. So like sometimes it is words, but I think a lot of the times, I think at least for me personally, I really like actions, and I really like doing things for other people, and that's how I show my love. So I think in return, that's kind of how I perceive being loved, is like to do little things for people, like making a study guide, or like sending your notes, or like sending your math worksheet or something like that. Like it's just the little things for me.
I think I want actions speak louder than words on my gravestone, because it's just so true. And it's like, sometimes there are people that I would have considered really close, and then other people that, I'm not that close friends with, but I still believe that they actually care about me, because it's just the way that they act. And I feel like as you get older, or not older, I guess, like experience more things, and like friendships with new people, you get better at seeing who genuinely cares about you. And it is through actions. Like, even words is kind of an action, if that makes sense, because
I was thinking like a text is an action.
yeah,
Like
that's
it's
words.
but
Someone checking up on you when you're not in school, that is words, but it's, you know, like an action, like they went out of their way. Oh, that too. I feel like most of the time people don't really go out of their way to do something, or it may appear that way, but it's actually just benefiting them. And so I think it's really beautiful when there are people that go out of their way to do something for you just because they appreciate you and not because they're expecting anything back.
This thought kind of just popped into my brain, and I'm not like really sure where this fits in, but I did want to just mention it. I think that as you grow in a relationship, romantic or a friendship, you're going to grow as different people. And I think that sometimes the person that you knew isn't the person who you know now. And I think it sometimes gets really easy to put whoever that is kind of in a box of like, I knew this version of you, even though we've matured and we've grown up, I'm still seeing you as you were. And you might have known this person at a certain point in time in your life, but you don't know that person anymore. And you might really love that person, but you're hanging on to who they were and who they used to be and not who they are now. And the things that you're doing are the things that that first person needed and that first person wanted, but that's not what this person wants now. And I think that especially in romantic relationships, sometimes the expectations grow over time. So something that might have been like, oh, that was nice that he did that, turns into like an expectation almost, just because of how long it's been and how like you want to be treated. And like, I just think that, again, like it gets really easy to put people into the box of knowing who they were and not knowing who they are now. And I think a lot of the time the failure to continue to listen and to think that you know somebody 100% is really a fatal flaw. And I think that a lot of the times it's just something like you never know a person 100%. Like you can always continue to know a person because that person is always going to continue to grow, and you have to grow together and learn and listen together.
And I feel like we as people, this sounds so like constitution-y, but we as people need to start listening to people more instead of just thinking of what you're going to say. You know, when you're not actually listening to someone, you're just thinking of what you're going to say back, especially in like arguments. But it's like, you know, if you really care about someone, then you actually want to listen to them and hear them out. And yeah, sometimes, like you said, it's like they knew who you were, but they don't know who you are now. You know, when you talk to someone who you haven't in a while and then you realize, wait, like I'm such a different person now. They really don't know me anymore. And I don't know if this is like an original experience, but I don't think it is. It's like, I feel like this happens a lot of the times with parents. Not that you don't talk to them. I'm guessing you talk to your parents often if you live with them, because we're children. But I feel like a lot of parents stop understanding their kids when they become teenagers because they expect their kids to act like, they expect their teens to act like how they were when they were kids. And then it's like you're realizing like, oh, like they don't actually know me anymore. Like I don't think like that anymore. I don't behave like that anymore. That's not what I need anymore. And it's just like holding on to, like they're holding on to like the idea of you being a child. And while like, you know, there are other people that are holding on to who you used to be, and you can do that for other people too. And I don't know, this is a little bit off topic, but sometimes people like have hope for friendships or relationships because it's like you know what you would do in their shoes, but actually thinking of the person and who they are now, it's like that's not actually what they're going to do. Does that like
that makes sense?
Yeah. It's like, oh, like if I were them, I would, because you're thinking like, oh, if I were them, I would apologize. If I were them, I would this and that. But it's like actually like understanding the person and who they are can, like, it sounds sad, but like make you remember that maybe there like is no hope. That sounds really sad, but it's like if somebody cares about you, you won't really have to question it. If someone cares about you, they'll show you. It's like sometimes people will be like, oh, like, how do I know if a guy likes me? If he likes you, you'll know. If he likes you, you won't question it because the effort will all be there. And that's why I think that it's important to show effort to the ones that we love.
I agree. And I think that sometimes it can be really, really tough to put yourself out there. But sometimes you just have to say, you know what, like, F it. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to do it. Like, and that's how things happen. And that's how you move forward in life and you move as a person and you build on your character. And I think that it's really important to take those risks and to just experience life and just new experiences in general. And I just think it's really important to just continue to grow as people and not think this is the best version of myself right now, because I think that you can always push yourself to be better. And if you feel like you're still kind of in that box of people treating you like who you used to be, it's important to just know for yourself that you're improving and you're getting better every day. And it doesn't matter if they still see you as a kid or if they still see you as someone who's less mature. You know in your heart and you know for yourself that you're actively growing, you're actively taking those steps, and the people who really, really care about you and care to know you will note that you're growing as a person and they'll note your character development.
And I think that growing comes from experiencing new things, like you said. And again, it's sad, but some people are in your life and they're meant to be lessons.
Yes.
And like you will outgrow some people and it's sad, but that's just how life goes.
I think people are lessons would be a great topic for next week.
Yes.
So on that note, we'll leave you on a little bit of a cliffhanger. I'm your host, Isabella Sanfilippo.
I'm Dia Mandel.
And remember, we love you.